Hi everybody, welcome to Wellness Space. Today's class is going to be a beginner's level Vinyasa flow. So if this is your first ever time doing yoga, I'd recommend that you have a look at some of the videos on this collection, and particularly the breakdown to low lunge salutation, sun salutation A and B. And then there's also a little video where we repeat those a few times just to see if you can get the body moving, you remember the cues and the positioning of those poses. But if you don't have time for that, then don't worry, it is a pre-recorded video, so you can do this video the first time, and maybe it's a little bit challenging, but you can always play it again and again and again until it becomes second nature. So when you are ready, we'll start in a wide-legged child's pose. And this is the pose that you can come back to at any point in this class. So if you do feel tired, out of your depth, or you just want to take a break, child's pose is the one. Big toes together to touch, knees out to the edges of your mat. Extend the arms out, let the fingertips rest on the floor, palms rest on the floor. If you can get the head to the floor, great. If not, then you can keep it lifted or place a cushion underneath the head. Maybe the sit bones lift up a bit for you slightly, that's absolutely fine as well. You're just trying to find a position that does feel good. If you can get the head to the floor, then leave it there. Relax the shoulders, close the eyes, close the mouth, and we'll hold it here. So in your yoga practice, you want to play with breathing in and out through the nose. And for a lot of people, this can be quite challenging, so it's a great focus to have during your class. And in a Vinyasa flow practice, you've got standing poses, seated poses, twists, leg, arm balances, back bends. You've got a little bit of everything. So in today's class, we are going to do a little bit of everything. Take in 2 more breaths. And rising up to a tabletop position. So the hands are shoulder distance, the knees go hip distance, the feet are hip distance. You've got a nice flat back. Spread the fingertips nice and wide. We'll move through cat-cows. So on an inhale, you're going to push the belly down, lift the chest, lift the chin. On an exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin towards the chest, look towards the belly. 4 more. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades in, lift the chest, lift the head. Exhale, round the shoulders, tuck the chin to the chest. Inhale, lift, belly down. Exhale, you round. 2 more. So inhale, lift the chest, look forward, cow pose. Exhale, round for cat. Last one, inhale. And take it back, exhale. Lovely. Bring it back, tabletop position. Now just start to move the body in circles. So you're making either semicircles or full circles with the spine. So it's your choice. Feeling nice little stretches on the side body. If this doesn't feel comfortable, you can go back to those cat-cows. Moving the neck as well, the spine, kind of in any way that feels good for you. You might start to notice parts of the body that you've never tapped into before. Take 1 more breath. And then come back into that tabletop position. Stay the direction you are. But come up onto your knees, extending your right leg out. So this is our gate pose. The sole of the right foot is on the floor. The hips are in line with the knees. If you've got dodgy knees, which a lot of people do, place a cushion underneath that left knee. Arms out to the side. On an inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, lower over to your right side. Right hand drops down, left arm up and over. Inhale, arms up back through center. Exhale, down to the left. Look high. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, over to the right. Inhale through center. And over to the left. Through center, inhale. Over to the right, exhale. Hold it here for 3 breaths. So hand down as low as you want it to go. Roll that top shoulder back, look up towards the sky. Reaching the left fingertips over to the left. Keeping the pinky toe edge of the right foot down. Inhale brings you back through center. And then take it over to the left. Left hand down. And then reach that right arm over to the left side of the room. So you can stay here in this pose, feeling that lovely stretch on the right side of the body. Look towards the sky. If you want more of a challenge, you can lift that leg up. So now balancing on the right knee, the left knee, the left hand. And then you lift that right leg as high as you can. Look up towards the sky. And then release the foot, rise up. Come back into your tabletop position and then set it back into a child's pose. But for this child's pose, you take the right hand, thread the right arm underneath the left arm, let the right side of the head drop down to the floor. Again, if it doesn't reach the floor, then don't worry. And if the hips are high, don't worry. You want the shoulder down. If you can, head down, reach the left fingertips forward. Release, lift the chest, switching sides, left arm goes underneath the right arm. Reach the right arm forward, coming into your child's pose with thread the needle arms. Left side of the head now onto the ground. Look towards that left thumb. Feeling a lovely pull on that left shoulder. And then release back into your tabletop position. Gate pose on the opposite side, extending the left leg out to the side. Take the arms out wide just so you've got that lovely position with the hips. Push them forward in line with the knees. Inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, lower all the way over to the left. Gaze high. Inhale through center. To the right, exhale. Inhale through center. To the left, exhale. Through center, inhale. Opposite side, exhale. Lift up, inhale. Hold it to the left on your exhale. So don't worry if you can't match your movements to the breath. That's something that will come with practice. I just cue it because then once you hear it more, you understand that the poses actually do work with the breath. The movements function with the breath. Rolling that top shoulder back, keeping the left hip pushing forward. Rise up, inhale. Over to the right side, fingertips or hands down on your exhale. So that leg might lift up automatically to get the hand down, or you might choose to lift it up. Flex the foot, so opposite of point, as if your toes are pointing towards your face. See if you can look to the sky, if that's okay for the balance. And again, push those hips forward. Lower the foot down, rising up. And then drop the hands, take your tabletop position. So from the tabletop, tuck the toes under, coming into your first downward facing dog. Ears in between the arms, bend the knees. So the chest, the belly are gonna melt towards the thighs. Have the heels lifted. So at the end of the day, the down dog does have straight legs. It does have heels to the floor. But if this is your first yoga practice or you haven't been practicing for very long, or you're a runner or you do another activity, you might be quite stiff. So instead of round in the back, ears in front of the arms, bend into the legs. So that's where you're going to get that extra space. And look in between the legs. Then let the gaze go forward, walking the feet forward to the top of the mat. Keep the feet hip distance apart. Straight legs, catch hold of opposite elbows, and just let the body sway from side to side. If it does feel nicer for you to bend the legs, have a little bend. Maybe you go from straight to bent, moving when you sway from side to side. Just letting the head, letting the neck relax. Keep rolling through for 2 breaths. For 1. And then curling the spine up nice and slowly. Make your way to your standing position. We'll do some low lunge salutations today. So big toes together to touch at the top if they can. Gaze forward, hands down beside the body. On an inhale, you reach the hands up, look towards the thumbs. On an exhale, forward fold, hands down. Flat back, inhale. Hands down, right leg back, low lunge, exhale. Reach the hands up high on your inhale. Lower the hands down by the feet, exhale. Left leg steps back, high plank, inhale. Drop the knees, untuck the toes, lower all the way to your belly, exhale. Push the floor away, cobra on your inhale. Child's pose, take it back, exhale. Tuck the toes under, downward facing dog on your inhale. Hold it here, reposition the feet on your exhale. So you've got 5 breaths. Have a play with the position of your feet. You want them hip distance, you want the hands shoulder distance. Fingers spread so wide as if you were making a big handprint in the sand. And again, if the legs are tight, bend into the legs. You want to avoid straight leg and flat back position. You really want that nice point in your sit bones, using the chest, melt it to the legs. Right leg lifts, 3-legged dog, inhale. Step it through, low lunge on your exhale. So maybe you give that leg a shimmy. Drop the knee. Reach the arms up high, look to the sky. Hands down. Left leg forward to meet the right. Halfway lift, flatten the back, inhale. Forward fold, hands down, exhale. Extend the legs, reach the arms up, inhale. Hands to heart center, exhale. Left side, inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, forward fold. Flat back on your inhale. Left leg back, low lunge on your exhale. Reach the hands up high on your inhale. Hands down on your exhale. Step the right leg back, high plank, inhale. Drop the knees, untuck the toes, lower all the way down to your belly. Cobra pose, lift the chest, look forward. Child's pose, take it back. Tuck the toes under, downward facing dog on your inhale. And hold it there for 5 breaths. So for your down dog, you want to find the distance between the wrists and the toes that works for you. You don't want it too short. You don't want it too long. So it's flat. I'm 5'4", and this is a regular size mat. And I've got space at either edge. I'm not using the whole mat, but I'm definitely using most of it. Take 1 more breath. Lifting the left leg into the sky, inhale. Low lunge, step it through, maybe a little shimmy with the leg. Drop the back knee and tuck the toes. Reach the hands up high, look to the thumbs. Hands down, exhale. Step the right leg forward, halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Reach the hands high on an inhale. Hands to heart center. Exhale. Lovely. Reaching the arms up nice and high. Inhale. Forward fold on your exhale. Flat back. Inhale. Right leg back. Low lunge. Exhale. We're going to hold our low lunge here. Hands can go on the waist, or you can reach the hands up to the sky. Left knee is on top of the left ankle. If you have the hands on the waist, or even if they're in the sky, relax the shoulders. Close in the mouth. Breathe in here for 3. For 2. For 1. Planting the hands down onto the floor. Step it back into your high plank. Flat body. Drop the knees, untuck the toes. Chaturanga, you lower the body down towards the floor. Elbows in nice and tight. Lift the chest for your cobra and hold your cobra. So shoulders roll back. Elbows squeeze in. There isn't a gap between your elbows and your torso. So it's not full extension of the arms, it's just a little extension. Take it back, child's pose. Tuck the toes under, finding your downward facing dog. Position the feet, we'll just hold it for a couple of breaths. Moving into our standing poses now. So reaching the right leg into the sky, 3-legged dog. Warrior 1, step the foot through about 3/4 of the way. And pivot the back foot 45 degrees. Reaching the arms up towards the sky or hands on hips, your choice. You look forward. So the front leg is bent, the back leg is straight, the hips are square. Those back toes point to about 10 o'clock and front toes point forward. So that's your warrior 1. Keep everything about the pose, but bring the hands together towards the center of the heart. Keep the gaze forward. You're going to bring the weight into that front leg and come into warrior 3. So balance in posture. Use the hands together towards the center of the heart for balance. Focus on the floor. Start to lift the back leg up away from the floor. Make a T shape with the body. Either flex or point the foot, your choice. You can have the right leg bent or straight. You want to avoid the chest dropping down too much or the leg being low, the chest being high. See if you can find that T shape. Slowly step it back. Warrior 1. Drop the foot. Reach the arms up on an inhale. Lower the hands down to the floor, exhale. Step back, high plank, inhale. Drop the knees, untuck the toes, drop to the belly, exhale. Cobra on your inhale. Child's pose on your exhale. Downward facing dog on your inhale. Holding it here for 2 breaths. Position the feet, position the hands. Gaze in towards the top of the mat. Walk in or jump in the feet forward. Feet in between the hands. Flat back, halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, fingertips down, exhale. Reach the hands up on an inhale. Hands to heart center, exhale. Opposite side, arms reach high, inhale. Forward folds, hands down, exhale. Flat back, inhale. Hands down, left leg back, low lunge on your exhale. So untuck the toes, right knee over the right ankle. Hands on waist or hands up to the sky, your choice. And keep it there. So this is a really good one for our hip flexors. If it's too intense, you can always bring the foot back so the stance isn't so long. Keep it there for 1 more breath. Placing the hands down to the floor. Step it back, high plank. Drop the knees and tuck the toes. Then lower all the way down onto your belly, elbows in. Push the floor away, find your cobra. Squeeze the elbows nice and tight. Hold it there for 2. For 1. Take it back, child's pose. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Holding it here just for a couple of breaths, but take that time to adjust. Find your down dog. Lifting the the left leg into the sky, 3-legged dog. Stepping it through for your warrior 1, so 3/4 of the way, pivot the back foot. Reach the arms up nice and high. So it's not quite as long of a stance as a lunge. So it's not like you can really feel it in your hip flexors. You want to square the hips forward, squeeze into the top of that back leg so it's nice and active. Gaze forward or gaze high. And the reason that back foot is 45 degrees is because we've got a lot more balance. You've got equal weight, equal pressure pushing into both of into the feet. Hands together towards heart center, ready to move into that warrior 3. Weight forward, look down, lift the right leg up whenever you feel ready. It only needs to go a few inches off the floor, but the more strength, the more confidence you build, you might be able to lift up into the full T shape. Being soft with the breath. That'll help with the balance. Use a wall if you need for balance. 1 more breath. Step it back into your warrior 1. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, lower the hands down. High plank on your inhale. Knees drop, chest, chin drop to the belly. Cobra on your inhale. Take it back, child's pose on your exhale. Lift up for downward facing dog on your inhale. And hold it there for 2 breaths. Letting the gaze go forward. Walking or jumping the feet to the top of the mat. Flat back, halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, fingers down, exhale. Reach the hands up high on an inhale. Hands to heart center, exhale. Stepping out with your right leg or whichever leg makes you a long ways on your mat facing your screen. So you want the legs wide, the toes point in, the heels point out, hands go on the waist. Take a nice deep breath in, and then forward fold, go halfway, so the belly and the chest are parallel to the floor. Look down. So you'll be able to feel that in the backs of the hamstrings. Just rock the body forward into the toes, and then see if you can drop the fingertips either down onto books, bricks, or onto the floor. If this is enough for you, stay there. If you feel like you can go further, melt the chest down. See if you can walk the fingertips so they're in line with the feet. Then as if you're tucking the head in between the legs, looking towards that back wall. But avoid the bum going back, avoid the weight going into the heels. You want the weight a little bit further forward into the toes. Walking the hands back away from the feet. Hands on the waist, come halfway. And then rise all the way up. Lovely. Taking warrior 2. We're going to take our right toes, pivot our right toes to face the short edge of our mat. Left toes stay parallel to the other short edge. And then we open up our arms. So right toes point forward, left toes point to 9 o'clock. The hips open to the left side of your mat. Arms are straight, they're not kind of wonky, one down, one up. And you gaze in between your front middle finger. Ideally, you want in Warrior Two that front thigh to be parallel to the floor. Super deep lunge. But if that's not accessible, then pull it back. And avoid that right knee buckling in. You want to keep it on top of the ankle. Rise up, extend the leg. Come back to your wide-legged fold position. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Lift the chest, look high. And then forward fold, taking the arms up and over. Again, look in between the legs. Keeping it here for 2. Squeeze the palms in, squeeze the shoulder blades for 1. And then rise all the way up. Warrior Two, left side, pivot the left foot only. Open up the arms, relax the shoulders, gaze towards the front middle finger. Keeping it here. So avoiding that torso reaching forward and avoiding it sitting back. You want it nice and rested in the middle. Push into that back little toe, straighten the back leg, lunge into that front leg. Keep it there for 3. And then rise up. Last wide-legged forward fold. Pivot the feet, toes in again. Hands on the waist, lengthen. Slide the hands down the legs. You either catch all the backs of the hamstrings. Maybe you can catch all the backs of the calves. And use that contact point to pull the chest in between the legs. Look towards the back wall. So you can have a fidget with the feet if you want. You can take them wider. You can bring them closer together. Avoid bending into the knees just to get lower. You kind of want straight legs unless you've got this hyper lock-in where the knees actually go back. Then by all means take a little bit of a micro bend. So it's just playing around to see what works for you. Hold it there for 1 more breath. And then rise all the way up. Hands on the waist and step to the top of the mat. So we're going to take a couple of balancing poses now, starting with our tree pose. So weight into the left leg. You're going to lift the right leg up. I'm going to mirror you on this one. So lift the right leg up, sole of the right foot to the thigh, toes point down. So either if you can reach the foot there, keep it there. If that's not accessible, sole of the foot underneath the knee, just not on the knee. If your balance is off today, toes can even stay on the floor and heel on the leg. Maybe you then play with working it up. Hips are square, hands can go together in prayer, or you can reach the arms up. So finding your variation, find the gaze, hold it there. So a little bit of a challenge for you. Keep the gaze, keep the hands where they are. Take that right leg, bring it through center, lift the thigh towards the chest. So one-legged high mountain. Point or flex that right foot. Option to extend that leg out. So now your leg is in a lifted position. Keep it there for 2. For 1. And release the hands, release the leg. Give it a little bit of a shake. Same on the opposite side. So taking that left leg, lifting it up. Above the knee or below the knee, just not on the knee. Find that tree pose. Use a wall if you need. Hands maybe together in prayer. Or maybe you reach the arms up. So in this tree pose, you want to think about squaring off the hips. So right now, you should be pushing the left hip forward. Taking that left knee back so it's in line with the hips. Grounding into that standing foot. So strong. Then come into your one-legged high mountain. Left thigh towards the chest. Bend that knee, or you can extend the leg, point or flex the foot if you want to get into the leg strength. Keeping the gaze, hold it here for 2. For 1. And release. Give the legs a shake. If you've moved, step to the top of the mat. Inhale to reach the hands up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Flat back, hands on shins, inhale. Step it back, high plank on your exhale. Hold it here for an inhale. Lower knees, chest, chin to the floor, exhale. Cobra, inhale. Child's pose on your exhale. Downward facing dog, tuck the toes, inhale. Hold it there for a couple of breaths on your exhale. Lifting your right leg into the sky, three-legged dog. Step it through for a low lunge. Drop the back knee, untuck the toes. Take the hands, place them around the head to support the head. Bring the elbows to the shoulder distance, either holding it there, gazing forward. Maybe you want to take a back bend, let the chest lift up towards the sky, elbows point towards the ceiling, look towards your ceiling. Letting that hip drop down towards the ground. Again, grabbing a knee pillow if you need. For these low lunge poses, you can always place a cushion or double up the mat. Release in the back bend, hands together in prayer. Twist to the right, thumbs towards the center of the heart. So you can stay there in the twist. If you want to intensify it, left elbow can hook over the right thigh. Then push the palms in to lift the belly away from the leg. Look towards the fingers, or maybe to the elbow, or maybe to the sky if you want to go further. Lower the hands down towards the ground. Left fingertips stay on the floor. Right fingertips reach up to the sky. So you're coming into your easy twist. So option 1, you can hold it here. Option 2, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee off the floor, and look towards the thumb in the sky. Keeping it here for 2. For 1. Drop the right hand down, step it back, high plank. Let the knees drop lower all the way to the belly. Cobra, lift the chest. Child's pose, take it back. Hips lift on an inhale, down dog. Keeping it there for 2 breaths. So last little bit of standing work, we'll do the same on the opposite side. Left leg lifts on an inhale. Low lunge, step it through on your exhale. Drop the back knee, shimmy the foot if you need, so the knee is on top of the ankle. Reach the hands so the palms are behind the head, bring the elbows in. Gaze forward or enjoy a little bit of a back bend. So how low you go in this low lunge position is totally up to you. The longer the stance, the more you'll feel the stretch in the hips. Same with the back bend, the more you take the gaze back, the deeper the bend. Release the back bend if you have it, hands together in prayer. Twist to the right, staying upright, or hooking the right elbow over the left thigh. So using that hook position to twist the body round, look to the elbow or look to the sky. Try and keep that left leg exactly where it is. So it might be tempted to let the left knee move in with the pressure of the elbow. Keep it nice and strong. Release the twist, hands down to the ground. Keeping the right hand where it is, left hand reaches up to the sky. Spread the right fingertips super wide. Option to stay or tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee off the floor. So if you've lifted that back knee, you really want to squeeze into the right quad. Keep the back leg straight. Use the fingertips as well as the palm on that right hand for support. Look to the left thumb. Lower the hand down. Step it back, high plank. Knees, chest, chin, you lower to the floor. Lift the chest on your inhale. Take it back, child's pose on your exhale. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. So our last downward facing dog, 5 breaths. Maybe you have a little bit of movement in the legs. Maybe you play again with that position. So maybe too close, maybe you go too far. Finding the perfect down dog that works for you. Don't worry if you need to lift those heels. We all have those days where our hamstrings are just a little too tight. Letting the gaze go to the hands. Walking the feet through, come into a seated position. Extending the legs out in front for a forward fold. So with the legs out in front, if you automatically feel that you're rounded in this position, then place a block, a book, or a cushion underneath the sit bones. Reaching the hands up high on your inhale. You're going to take a forward fold on your exhale. So on that forward fold, don't be tempted to tuck the chin to the chest and curl the spine. You want to lengthen the spine. They say it's a forward fold, not a downward fold for a reason. You want to lengthen the forehead towards the toes. Look towards the toes or even further. Hands can go thighs, shins, ankles. Keep the shoulders relaxed. And flexing those feet will get into the hamstrings a little bit more. So pulling the toes back towards the forehead. Lifting the chest so the chest faces forward. And release. Bending into your right leg. Place the sole of the right foot on the floor. About 5 to 10 centimeters away from the left leg. Right fingertips go behind you, just the fingertips, not the palm. You want to stay nice and tall. You can either catch hold of the knee, like I'm doing here with the left hand, or if you want to go a little bit further, inhale to reach the left hand, and then exhale, hook it over the elbow, just like we did before in that low lunge. And then push the arm into the knee, but also push back with the knee to the arm. Look to the right, look over your right shoulder. So this is called Marichi C. Lovely little twist. Staying nice and tall in the spine by using the strength of that right hand. And then slowly release. Extend the right leg. We'll do the same on the opposite side. Bend into the left. Left fingertips behind you. Catch the knee or right hand reaches, inhale. Cross it over, exhale. So lifting the chest on an inhale and then twisting the chest further on an exhale. And keep doing that little movement for 4 more breaths. This is why we use our breath. We can get a little deeper in the pose. We can find a little bit more comfort in our poses. And release. Taking a forward fold, but this time we'll open up our legs so it's a wide-legged forward fold, as wide as you want to take them. Flex the feet so the toes point up to the sky. Again, you can place something underneath the sit bones if you want that extra straightness of the spine. Hands can go on the thighs or the shins. Look forward, think belly down, chest forwards. Just go as low as you feel comfortable with and trying to avoid rounding the shoulders just to get the head down. You want to work more on this pelvic tilt so it doesn't matter what happens with the spine. But you do want to encourage a little bit of length going forward, not going down. Holding it here for a few more breaths. And then rising up, working your way down onto your back, soles of the feet on the floor, hip distance. Roll onto your spine. Extending the right leg up into the sky, coming into a hamstring stretch on the right side. So flex the foot, kick the heel towards the ceiling. Maybe you catch hold of the hamstring or the calf. And then pull the leg just gently towards the body if you want to intensify the stretch. But if that's enough for you, then hold it there. Toes point down towards the forehead. Straight leg. So it doesn't matter whether your leg is close towards the chest. You can catch the thigh. If your leg is here, that's still working your hamstrings. Releasing the arms, cross the right leg over the left as if you were sitting on a chair. And then let the knees fall down to the left side of your mat. Arms can stay open if you don't have the space, little bend, cactus arms. Gaze to the sky or look over that right shoulder. Your choice. Just holding it here for 5 breaths. So this is a reclined twist. Lovely relaxing pose to end the class. Legs come back through center. Release the right leg. Extend in the left. Hamstring stretch on the opposite side. Kick the heel to the sky, toes down. Maybe you keep the arms where they are, or you can catch the hamstring or the calf just like you did on the other side. But if that leg is too far away for you, then don't worry. Just stay active in the foot. Releasing the arms, cross the left leg over the right, finding that recline twist over to the opposite side. And then take the gaze over to the left. Open up the arms. So it doesn't matter if that knee doesn't fall down to the floor. You can always use a pillow or a block or a book or something in between that little gap. As long as the toes are rested, then you've got stability in this pose. And maybe that left shoulder wants to lift up off the floor, then that's absolutely fine as well. You just want to find relaxation in this pose, not worry about it too much. Unravel. Squeeze the thighs towards the belly. Wrap the hands onto the knees or the shins. Give the legs a little sway from side to side. Coming into our final pose, which is happy baby. Soles of the feet shine up to the sky. Flex the feet. Take the knees out wide as if the knees wanted to touch the floor to the sides of the torso. Hands can be placed on the hamstrings, the shins, or you can catch the outside edges of the feet. Gaze towards the ceiling or close the eyes, your choice. You might want a little sway from side to side. Or you may just want to hold it here nice and still. And then releasing the legs, coming into your Shavasana, your final relaxation pose of the class. The legs extend and the feet will fall out to the sides. The tops of the hands will be on the floor. The head, the top of the back will rest on the ground. But lift the chest up to shimmy the shoulders underneath the spine. Either gaze in towards the sky or close the eyes. And you want to see if you can fully relax the body here. So maybe you take a deep breath in through the nose and a big sigh out through the mouth. A little reward for your hard work and your practice. Noticing any difference in the physical body, whether the hamstrings might feel a little longer, the hips a little looser. Or maybe the main difference for you is more in the mind. More space, less madness. Start to wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes. Taking a full body stretch, reaching the arms up overhead, pointing the toes. Squeeze the thighs towards the belly, lift the head, lift the neck up, squeeze in. And then rise up into a seated position, crossing the legs, bringing the hands together towards the center of the heart. Taking a final deep breath in through the nose. Release, big sigh out through the mouth. I hope you enjoyed your practice. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.